Hi, I want to make this short video offering some reading tips for the research essay. So for this next essay, you're going to be finding your own sources. You're going to be researching and finding the sources that have the best information, are the most useful for your essay. There's lots of types of sources you might include. So newspaper articles are great. Opinion style editorials can be a little bit biased, but could still be really useful and have interesting arguments that you might incorporate. Scholarly research articles often have really great evidence and data. You can also use websites. As long as these are credible and trustworthy, we're going to talk about that more, and books and ebooks. So you're going to find at least 6 trustworthy, credible sources for your essay. And as you're reading, you want to think about reading in a way where you get the most value out of the time you spend reading. So different essays ask you to read in different ways. For our first essay, since you were analyzing literature, you're reading and noticing the rhetoric, noticing the writerly choices, the tone, the style, literary features. For this essay, as you read, you want to look for claims and evidence that you might include in your own position on the issue. So, keeping that in mind, you might think about whether the source has really great data or great evidence that's going to support your argument. And then you might think about also looking for claims that you agree with. Maybe you find a source that has a really compelling argument that supports your own position, and then you want to incorporate that, give credit to the author for that idea. If it's a really unique and compelling idea and not just a general idea, you still want to cite that. And then you're also going to look for sources that present countering views. So as you're reading, you might look for claims that you disagree with that might have a place in your essay where you explore another way of looking at the same issue. So for the reading advice, there is a strategy called reading with and against the grain. Sometimes reading with the grain is called the believing game, where you suspend judgment and you just try to imagine that you completely agree with the author's stance. And reading against the grain is often called the doubting game, where you're calling into question and challenging everything and being really critical of the author's position. So there's a handout that you're going to be looking at that has this information, but it's really helpful to actually read an essay 2 times. Even one text, you might read it 2 times. It's a good way to solidify your stance and also imagine how you might use a source in your essay. So are you going to use this source to support your position? Is it a good example of a countering view? So there are 2 handouts on this page. Please go ahead and read them. I encourage you to use this reading strategy for the next few readings, which you will have discussion posting assignments about, and also for all of the sources that you find for your own research essay. Thanks.